What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting game of retro Star Wars customizable card game tonight. We have a great game for you. We have Scald with Light Side versus Teacher with Dark Side as they are stepping into this game now. I'm joined on the call by Bill Biscos. Bill, how are you today?
Doing great, Wormtime. Glad to be here.
All right, excellent. Glad to have you on the program here. Wait, hold on. Why is my desktop audio? Can you say something, Bill?
I'm here. Hello, hello,
Okay,
hello.
perfect. All right.
Salutation.
Yep, it's capturing you here. We'll get my webcam on here. All right. So, big matchup here. We have in the Retro League four players who are 4-0. There is Teacher. We have Scald. And we have B. Kipple. And we also have How Do We Get Into This Mess?
Mr. Joe Horby. Yep.
Yeah, so we do see a start of Kashyyyk from Teacher, which is pretty rare. Most Darkside Space decks go with the Death Star start, but we see Kashyyyk here and a TIE Scout down there, as well as ability. A very aggressive start.
Agreed. Extremely aggressive. He's basically betting that the light side cannot battle and hurt him one turn, which is probably right because maybe you could do like an X-wing or something, maybe a Y-wing and start a battle. But yeah, I agree. It's an aggressive start, and ability is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I've noticed as I've played this is, Darkside Spaces poses some problems for Lightside. Lightside doesn't have a great package they could bring to space. They do got, of course, Han and the Falcon. They've got Tantive 4, and they've got Gold Leader and Gold 1, Red Leader and Red 1. So they've got some weapons, but Darkside has just all these Star Destroyers and the Executor and just a whole bunch of really big power ships.
Yeah, I think pretty much. I mean, their main thing they have is like they have 10 to 4, which costs 5, right? And then they have, like you said, Captain Han Solo adds a Battle Destiny. The dark side does have the ability to kind of spread potentially. So, the light side tends to be incentivized to be the ground because you have two lightsabers. You have Anakin's lightsaber, you have Obi-Wan's lightsaber. You have places like the Cantina. You have places like the Cloud City, like Lower Corridor, which is two, and you have the Carbonite Chamber, which
Yeah,
like I said,
Carbonite
the light side has a
Chambers,
lot
too.
of good. Yeah, yeah. So the light side basically has Kessel as a place to drain at. So they have a little bit less incentive compared to the dark side where you have Kashyyyk and you have Kifex for drains of two.
Yeah. So Scald getting down both Yoda's side and the jungle here, and losing two to ability loses Lift Tube and Captain Han Solo from the reserve.
Captain Han Solo is not a card you want to lose. I'm going to assume that he has a Falcon as well. And I think what Captain Han costs 3, is that right?
Four,
And then Millennium Falcon
four.
costs 4. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, if Skull can get Captain Han here and the Falcon, he can hurt Teacher strategy. But losing Carbonite Chamber is not good for Scald. I'll say that much.
Also losing a wedge, so two key pilots being lost here early on.
Right. Absolutely. Deploying 2 more systems, so it seems like we have a system spam deck. He's deploying 3 systems, but can he take advantage of this? That's the only danger I see about this strategy. If you just deploy systems you can't force drain, it can hurt you, in all honesty.
Yeah, Lightside does have a lot of icons there, though, and while they now have 10, they already had 7. Meanwhile, Darkside was struggling with only 5, so he has closed the gap a bit and given himself, an opportunity to get some cards into his hand and have force to threaten, drains or a Vader drop, things of that nature.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, just from the sites, I mean, it seems to be like a Cloud City mains deck. I'm just going to guess. He had Carbonite Chamber, most likely has Lower Corridor. Maybe he has Cantina too,
Yeah. Well, we
but
saw
we'll
Lift
have to see.
Tube, so he's definitely playing
Yeah,
multiple Cloud City locations.
for sure, for sure. At least two, probably three or four. I
And
would
so
guess four, but we'll have to.
So Teacher's still only deployed one card himself with the TIE Scout. So this ability, it's a little soft right now. And if you're Scald and you can get a sight down, you might even be able to get, two cards there. And we do see Tantive 4
Yeah,
come down here.
ten to
Doesn't have a
four comes
pilot.
down. He could have a pilot. He has five more
He
force, and he
does.
does. He's going to draw Destiny.
So
Yeah.
that's going to knock out
So
ability. So that's what I was talking about. A little soft there with the ability.
yeah, but I mean, it did its job. It was one card for two cards. So
True.
from a efficiency standpoint, I can't really disagree. Now it's the question of how much damage he's going to pay for this gambit. What's he going to take? So a one is good for teacher, so he's going to end up having four battle damage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
And we do see a get.
and he gets it. Okay. All right. Well, technically, he is ahead in total lost piles. I guess I'll say. Um, the best thing I can say is that, of course, Tana 4 is not immune to attrition. So if he has a counter beat here, it is in his hands.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was important for him to get some systems out like he did and have the opportunity to, again, get some cards down onto the table.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, so Scald saving one here, maybe a Rebel Barrier in mind.
It could be a rebel bear. We don't see it much around these times, but a rebel bear is very possible. Or it could be a hyper escape. That we'll have to see.
Sure, Hyper Escape as well, yeah. And Teacher choosing to do nothing here. And he's going to draw a couple cards, maybe kind of craft that hand as we were talking about to give Tantive 4 something to think about. Yeah, leaving 6
I guess
there.
so.
So he's going to
He's
have
leaving.
17 force next turn.
He will. He is being rightfully cautious about a Grimtosh. I can't blame them. It's kind of annoying on his side because he's has a large activation now, and he can't do much with it. But we'll have to see. He could have a black four in his hand, or he might have some secret. But
Yeah.
looks like not. Yeah.
Okay, losing an Undercover from hand and a Victory class Star Destroyer from reserve deck.
I'm going to take a guess that he had a copy of Undercover, and that's why he's getting rid of one.
Makes a lot of sense. And it's also yet to be seen where Lightside's going to drain at. We did see the Carbonite Chamber being lost. We assume lower quarter probably would come down. Guest quarters.
Almost certainly those
And,
two other cards.
and will we see Jedi testing? That's another question I have.
Savrip, people love Savrip nowadays. That's the second one I've seen recently here.
It's a good card if you can keep it on the table. My thing with Severus is you have to win the Sense Alter War to use it. But if you can keep it on the table, it's a very powerful card.
Against a dark side space, it certainly makes sense, especially if you don't see any hints of Sensor Alter. Skilled also respecting the 12 limit, fearing a Monarch. Reasonable assumption.
Yeah, and Lightside doesn't have. I mean, Darkside has no characters down, so they can't sense a Grimtash. Lightside does have a character down, but it's only ability 2.
Yeah.
Now, so if I'm Teacher here, what I really like as a play is if you can get out a TIE Scout with an ability 3 pilot, right? You want to stay below their power level because what you want is you want Lightside to win the battle so that they have to forfeit Jaro and Webb.
Ideally, yes. Of course, now he has even power. Um,
And he's going to be up 2 with moving Ozzel
yeah.
over. He put Ozzel on as a passenger, and for the uninitiated, the reason he put him on as a passenger here is let's say that the light side has a rebel barrier. It allows you to put another pilot on that TIE Scout. And we see a
Oh,
lot of
nice.
pilots coming down here.
he's trying to do a beatdown. I'm not sure how effective this will be, but he can certainly handle the forfeit on teacher side.
So big attack here, 17 power to 7. Of course, Lightside has the advantage that they have really good cards like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Son of Skywalker, which have really big forfeits. So the Savrip does a lot of heavy lifting for them. One of the things Decipher did
Yeah,
was make Lightside's
yeah, Yoda.
forfeit way higher.
Yeah, Yoda's forfeit is 9, but and he can forfeit multiple cards, can't he, if he wanted
He
to?
can.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can do more if he wants. Dan's boring. Why would you do Dan's? I guess he's because he's 3 and Ozzel's 4.
Yeah,
Must
all
be.
the other pilots are forfeit 4, so you never want to have to lose 2 when you can lose 1, and I think that giving up 1 power to have that extra forfeit can often be very good. Now, Scyld has an interesting choice here. Depending on what he has in his hand, he might choose to lose both. I don't know if I like that, seeing how many systems Darkseid has out. I think I'd like to keep the Tantive 4 going, but he has to consider that this could be a recurring theme where Tantive 4 continues to get attacked here. And, so he's lost 2 cards already, still has 2 more battle damage to deal with. And it's just as if Teacher had 4 strained him there anyway. And we do see Jero and Webb being lost, so Tantive 4 now needs a new pilot.
Yes, Intent 4 is almost certainly going to run away next turn.
But even if it runs away, you don't want it just sitting out there where I mean, you have Savrip down, right? But again, you don't want a situation where you lose Tantive 4 here. I think that's going to be a key card. We did see Captain Han being lost. I don't know if he has 2 Captain Han, which means if he doesn't, the Falcon isn't as powerful. So the Tantive 4 could end up being one of his most powerful ships.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to keep it alive. Unfortunately, he forfeited Lando. Lando's a pilot. So he may have been between a rock and a hard place. I don't know the rest of his deck, but he lost Wedge, he lost Web. I mean, how many copies does a regular person keep of Wedge and Web? I mean, normally you think one
Yeah, I'd
of
say
each of
one of
those,
each of those. Yeah. So you're looking at Chewbacca, maybe Farm Boy Luke, you know, characters like that.
Yeah. So,
And Captain Han
maybe he
needs the
has a
Falcon to get down. He can't deploy Captain Han even if he has 2 copies. So we do see him run, which makes a lot of sense.
yeah, agreed. No, it does make sense. And threatening a drain. And yeah, no, the thing about Captain Han is, yeah, he can deploy to Hoth or Cloud City sites. He cannot deploy to the Hoth system unless the Falcon is there. So
Correct.
it is really a restrictive deployment he has.
So we see a drain of 2 from Teacher here. Lift Tube Escape being lost, as well as an Undercover. Makes a lot of sense with Darkseid showing space. 2 cards that probably
100%
won't
agree.
be critical.
Teacher is racking up the systems here. I think his initial deployment would have been better to put Piet inside of the TIE Scout first. That way you can move the TIE Scout to
Destiny.
drain. Yeah, I
Now
think
he can
so.
do it all for free. You can, and you don't have to ship dock. And here's how you get. This is how you want to do it. You want to embark the tie, then you can swap the
Okay,
pilots,
nice.
and so you can leave the tie scout with Piet there at Kashyyyk, block the drain with the Victory class and all the pilots, and force the Tantive 4 to move away. And it's really nice because if Tantive 4 runs to Kashyyyk, let's say, right, and you have Piet on the TIE Scout, that has a power 3 to Tantive 4's 5. So if you draw a 1 or a 2, they'll have to forfeit the Tantive 4. They won't be able to use the Savrip.
Nice. Yeah, I think you most certainly split this up. You don't want to take a drain of 2 when you can block it and force them to deploy a pilot or something to drop out Destiny.
Yeah. So he did choose to keep Ozzel on the TIE Scout, maybe as some forfeit fodder in case of a Captain Han Falcon incident, something like that. But I do suspect we'll see a move that. Oh no! Now he's putting the TIE. He's changing
I
his mind.
the biggest thing I can say is that Skilled has 12 cards. So I mean, he certainly has the potential to have more pilots. You
And
know.
he has a lot of force activated. Now we did see one Gick
Yes.
from Teacher. Does he have another?
I'll say that my spread and drain decks I do in PDS2. I do like to have two Gicks personally, just to support that. So I would not be surprised.
Oh, so here's an interesting play, and I kind of like it. So he's giving up one drain here. Instead of two at Kashyyyk, he's going to drain for one at Dantooine. But Dantooine, he can move his starships there as a react. So if the Falcon and Captain Han do come down to Dantooine, he's got a plan that he can move the Victory class Star Destroyer over and support that TIE Scout. So, yeah, I see why he did that. Reasonable way to go.
I guess so. I guess I just why is he keeping 4/4? Oh, I okay. I think I know why he might be able to doing that. So if he's worried about an interrupt, yeah, he needs one force to react and he needs three force to grab. If that's what he's worried about. Wow, that's 27 cards in his force pile. He has a lot of cards to choose from. Let's just say that.
He's got a lot with tunnel vision there. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I think your call, yeah, most certainly if he has two Hans and two Falcons, I think he can probably play now. Let's see.
Okay, we see the lower quarter. Maybe he was going for his own drains.
Well, that's possible.
Okay, Son of
Son of
Skywalker coming
Skywalker.
down. Yeah, setting up a
Yeah,
drain here, probably of three if he has the saber or can find it. He does know what's in his force pile, so he knows what's in his reserve deck.
yeah.
He still has 21 force. It's just so much force to have at your disposal. I mean, you could put down everything.
I agree. And I would not be surprised to see Sense and Alter from his deck. So he is capable of drawing and then sensing now. And the Taint is just going to run away. Okay.
You know, and perhaps So we talked about that two-card combo of Captain Han and the Falcon. You get one with tunnel vision, and you have a very good chance only using 6 of the 27 that you can draw into the other potentially.
I see. Teacher is wants to grab the used interrupt,
Prevent
trying to
that
hurt some
Destiny of
tracking.
5 and
There's another one. That's the
another
problem.
one. So we can see that Skull definitely has a plan for next turn. He made a point of it to get fives in position here. So mental note out there. Card number 7 is a 5.
Seven from the bottom is a five. I think he is setting up for a retrieval. Would be my guesstimate.
That would be my guess as well. Yeah, like a on the edge or off the edge.
Yeah, now he's drawing like crazy. So his fear of being monarched is
Yeah,
obviously
because now
low at
he's
this
got a
point.
character down he could sense with.
Yeah.
So teacher will get a drain of 2 here.
Yes.
Teacher also with a lot of force. Teacher also with a lot of force, but not many in hand.
Yeah.
Ooh, a do or do not being lost. Maybe he does not have sense alter.
Yeah. Maybe that's true. Losing. Sorry about the mess from the hand. Okay. Maybe he is afraid of monarchs. That's ironic. He most certainly has another one, but that's interesting.
Yeah,
But
we
of
do
course, he
see.
doesn't have a lightsaber, so it doesn't help him yet.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple turns at least. And DS61-4 with its ship Black 4 coming down here to Tatooine. I like this play. forcing light side to lose more cards from hand or the Tantive 4.
Agreed.
And the thing is like the cards in your hand, like, Obi-Wan forfeits for 8, right? But like, ooh, and a 0 being
Zero.
drawn.
Oh, that was
Um,
bad.
but yeah,
That was bad for
Obi-Wan
people.
forfeits for 8, but if he draws even a 1 there, you might have to lose him. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, all is not terrible. You move the victory class over, you're going to have power of 18 there. And
You move it over and you can leave black 4 behind or whatever later. It's no, I agree.
yeah,
It's not the end of the world. Okay. He's still ahead for the
yeah.
moment.
Um, But yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this old format. So, like in the newer formats, when you can start to pull your locations, you don't draw as many zeros. But, drawing a zero is just, it's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. You're going to draw some zeros.
It happens. But if we see black 4, I'm assuming it's black 3 and black 2, and so he probably has sufficient cards.
So U3PO is quite the card that came out in A New Hope, in that you only need one. You don't have to find an undercover to match with your spy. He's just all in one. But he has this counter card R3PO for the light side, and if you're light side, and here comes that retrieval we talked about,
Yep. This will be a prime card to grab. Yep, absolutely.
and it is grabbed. A wise choice.
Yep. Now the only thing negative I will say about this is he probably he probably has an off the edge too, given it's a Cloud City deck, but
Yeah.
stymieing some of the retrievals good. Yes.
Well, and the thing is that you know getting even so let's say that your opponent plays two of each, right? Getting it down to two makes it that much harder to cycle them, because you have to get them before you lose enough force that they're buried again.
True.
So sometimes stopping one can stop both. I know it, like, because I play on the edge two times in my Death Star 2 deck. And the thing is you want to know where both of them are in your deck before you begin the cycle, because what you don't want to happen is to lose one and then it gets buried and then you don't have a cycle, you just have one chance.
Agreed. And that's why, I mean, I think I saw one deck of one person, like they had like 4 on the edge in a Mine We Have Learned deck, and really trying to make stores have one. So it's a great reminder of why grabblers are so important.
Yeah. We do see Anakin's
So
lightsaber come down and R3PO here.
yep, he is going to try to punish this.
So if you play U3PO, what you want to play is the Restraining Bolt. The Restraining Bolt cancels R3PO's game text, and Lightside has this card Sauron, which is the counter that will make you be able to use one force to lose the Restraining Bolt.
Absolutely. And we saw that come into play in a previous game we streamed a while ago with Benji and Teacher, actually. So the question is, does Skuld have the Sauron? Don't know.
Though the first question is, does Teacher have a Restraining Bolt?
Well, that's also true, yes.
Because if he doesn't have a Restraining Bolt, then you don't need the Sauron. But like I said,
Correct.
most people know that U3PO is extremely exposed to R3PO. I would expect to see a Restraining Bolt.
Yeah, it's one of these amazing, like, I really, like, was Decipher thinking, oh, wow, U3PO is just too powerful. Let's, make a card that makes people not want to ever play U3PO. It's just like one of those things like, geez, man. But, all right.
And Scald kind of thinking through what he wants to do here. And he's going to run to Hoth. He's probably considering
I can't
possibly
blame
blocking the drain at Dantooine.
Cannot blame him.
So if nothing is done here, you have to break U3PO's cover, and you're going to lose 3 to the drain and 2 more. No, actually, you just keep him there. So you'd lose 4 to U3 or to R3PO, but 5 if you break his cover.
Well, what people do sometimes is they'll use R3PO's text and then they'll sorry about the mess,
Oh
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's especially nasty.
Yeah, I mean, and you can wait till kind of the end of the game where it matters more, but that's the danger. So if teacher doesn't have a restraining bolt, he's going to be hurting. So we'll see.
Now Obi-Wan Kenobi being lost
Losing,
from hand with Savrap out, that's fairly surprising.
I tend to agree. I guess the question is, what does he have in this reserve deck? Do or do not. Okay, so he thinks that teacher has no sensor alter. I can't I
I mean, I
can't
think that as
disagree.
well.
Yeah. If you don't have a lot of Vaders, it doesn't make sense to do sensor alter. He had a strain bullet hand. Wow, that's lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be prepared for it. That is the risk with U3PO because again, he causes more damage than good if you don't have that. And a second spy coming down here. So sorry about the mess is not going to clear that site. He did retrieve a
It's
sorry
rare.
about the mess though.
Okay. You're right. He did. Yeah,
So
he did.
teacher with only
But it's
4 in
a
hand.
unique interrupt. Yeah, that was a good hand to have. He had the counter cards in hand. It's pretty good. Impressive.
Yeah, if you're
So I
dark
think you
side
leave black
space,
four.
yeah, some people like with dark side space to do probe droids. But if you do any type of dark side space, you want to be doing some type of undercover work. Because, like you said earlier, light side has all these powerful lightsaber drains to work with on the ground. So, you got to be prepared for that.
Agreed. So he deployed Kifex, and I think you want to block. You want to block Hoth. Do you leave the black four at Tatooine, or do you?
I think you do, yeah. Yeah. Light side has not. First of all, light side only has 18 force to work with. So it's not like super crazy things can happen. Captain Han and the Falcon's definitely the worst case scenario. And you've already seen one Han lost. And I think if you're dark side here, you got to get a little bit more damage going. You're doing damage. You certainly have the advantage in the loss pile, but at the same time, you've put a lot of cards on the table. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 systems out, and they're not doing much for you, right? You'd like to see a drain at Kashyyyk. You'd like to see a drain at Kifix, and put some pressure on the light side. Like light side's been able for several turns to kind of just draw up while taking minimal damage. And if dark side wants to win this game, I think they need to start pushing more damage. From light side here, now we do see a Grimtash here. And it's going to reveal Gik, DS613, Wraithiel, a Noat, TIE Scout, Executor, Undercover, and TIE Scout. So 2 TIE Scouts will be peeled off here.
I'm really wondering why teacher opted not to draw more cards, but given that Skilled seemed to be so Grimtosh, itching, I guess that's a good thing. I'm kind of surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went with it. But it also could be, if you look at what he has in his hand, he's got the Executor in his hand, and that's going to threaten being able to, attack Tantive 4 in a big way wherever it goes next turn. And there's going to come to a point where Tantive 4 needs to run to Dagobah or sacrifice itself to block a drain.
Surprise assault. So Skilled has some secret tech here he's trying to do.
A surprise assault is an interesting choice. What I think is interesting about it is I haven't seen a ton of super high destiny cards coming from Scald here. So the question is what was the target of those? I will say I know I had run earlier in this tournament. I've seen some people emulate it, some trooper based decks, and surprise assault would definitely fare well against those type of decks.
Yeah. Here is the off the edge.
He's only gonna get two
Um,
back, but it's an important card, so he's doing this to get his sorry about the mess back.
okay.
Because
All right.
he's
When you
seeing
get
the
time,
spies, right, and he's saying, I need to get control of this location.
yeah.
It's a pretty slick play. Okay, and we do see the incinerator come down now, so another location where Lightside can drain.
True. We'll see if he has another light side
Oh,
character.
we do have VHD in the chat. He did confirm no grabbers and no cancel on the sorry.
I will note that if he has Obi-Wan there, Obi-Wan can retrieve R2D2 now.
That is true. Yep.
But I agree with you about pushing the damage. I know there's got to be a Falcon somewhere in this deck, but we haven't seen. And he's lost Web. He's lost Wedge. So maybe he has a what's that alien's name? That pilot or ability?
Boshek.
Boshek. Yeah,
Yeah.
Boshek. He might have a Boshek here.
Well, I can guarantee you what we're about to see this turn is going to be the Executor and a pilot coming down against Tantive 4. I can tell you that's going to happen. And when Darkseid does that, they're going to move to Kashyyyk, and then they could be pushing six per turn in drains. So Lightside will have to match that either with Retrieval or with drains of their own.
I would have to agree there. I think Lightside has at least one more, probably two more. I'm going to guess here. Retrievals on their side. Let's see.
Yeah, you would think at least one more of each card. So Tantive 4 is going to block the drain, but now when you deploy the Executor, it gets an extra power 2 bonus and the TIE Scout. Tantive can go to Dantooine if it needs to hyper escape.
Is he going to draw a card? I guess that's the question. Or is he going to signal he has a barrier or something? So I think you call the bluff, though. Either way.
Yeah, and the worst case scenario would be that the Executor gets barriered, and it's not as bad of a scenario as it looks on the surface because, first of all, you're then left with Captain Piet and the TIE Scout. And there's a case that you could even just go ahead and deploy the Executor to Kashyyyk. And if you know your card is a 1 here or a 2, you can battle at Kifix and knock out Tantive 4 and he can't use Savrip. And then you can put the Executor at Kashyyyk. So it's like and so if it does go to Kifix and it gets barriered, great, you get that same battle, and then you get to move the TIE Scout to Kashyyyk and leave the Executor to drain 2 at Kifix.
It's a trap. One of our favorite cards to use to annoy the dark side. But wisely getting rid of it.
And if you're dark side, you also want to bury that on the off the edge. You don't want that to come back through retrieval. So you want to try to do it. So he's going to check his reserves so he knows. And again, this would be a very top level play to see that it's a 1 or a 2, and to resist the urge. Oh, it's a 6. He says in chat it's a 6. So I guess now you go for the beatdown. The thing is, do you want Executor stranded at Kifix? Because he doesn't have
He's not
anything.
skipping. He can move it. Nah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
And apparently so does Teacher because he is coming to Kifix. And there's the barrier.
He does have Barry. Okay. The best thing I can say is you can deploy another pilot to the you can deploy another pilot to the TIE Scout and add in a little bit more damage.
No.
You can't?
No, it's only one pilot. Okay, so now the
Oh,
executor
one
has an
pilot, one pilot.
escape plan. Oh, wait,
Yep.
yeah, it can go 3 to 5 to 6, etc.
Yep. Yep.
And the beauty is the TIE Scout's got enough hyperspeed to make it all the way to Kashyyyk.
Agreed?
But I think what you do actually is put the Victory class at Kashyyyk to the drain of 2, and then send the TIE Scout to Dantooine. And if you're Scald, you're just looking for those sorry about the messes. It's going to lock a lot of damage.
Yep.
So, attrition of 6 here. Will the Tantive Force stay running around, or is he going to give it up?
You got rid of one Obi-Wan earlier. I could see another Obi-Wan here. I mean, another Lando gets rid of this, another Han gets rid of this, a Leia gets rid of this. There's lots of cards which satisfy this for the light side. Yeah, Luke gets rid of that. Son of Skywalker, yeah. Yep.
Yep. But now you're still running.
True.
You see, I put the Victory at Kashyyyk, I put the TIE Scout at Dantooine, and, well, you know, he must want some more cards in hand. This saves
I
an
can't
extra
blame.
force.
It does save an extra force. I can't blame him too much for that.
And he can also go again with another opportunity for a 3-on-5 power battle, try to draw, again, a low destiny, and knock out Tantive. No, VHD. We saw 2 do or do nots lost from the light side so far, so they're definitely not playing much sense in alter. Maybe an emergency sense, an emergency alter, something of that nature. I'm gonna jump up and grab a drink of water real quick. Bear with me.
Yeah. Got 21 life force versus 21 life force. Skilled still has 2 more cards in hand versus teacher 7. Let's see if Skilled remembers to retrieve his R2D2 from earlier in the game. Still expecting 2 more retrievals for Skuld. Let's see what he does. Skuld's still thinking. He didn't miss anything.
Yeah, he might be tracking destinies. Trying
Yeah, I
to
hope he
remember
is,
where
because
trying to
that's
remember
what.
where his 5 is. Because he has 19, so
Yeah,
he can
and
activate everything.
yeah, yeah. I mean, his move needs to be to try to retrieve his other on the edge, and he didn't lose that many cards, so it's. I think it's within the realm of possibility.
Certainly.
Still
I'll tell you what
thinking.
else I'd like to see from Darkseid here to push damage is we saw that he has another copy of ability. And if he can get one of those down, he now has 10 cards with ability compared to Lightside's 3. Labria won't count.
That's 3 TIE Scouts he's lost from reserve so far, and he does remember to retrieve. Good for him.
And I think he's setting that that up for an edge.
That would make perfect sense. 4 from the bottom. I do like this for the combo. I think I do like having one extra floating R2D2 just for Cloud City Incinerator. That's a nice combo.
Are we going to see a double agent
On
here?
Leia here. That's my thought too. I don't know why else you would deploy that other than double agent. So I think we'll see that. You don't see much double agent. Lift tube. Okay.
Well, lift tube escape can put that back
Mm,
to
true.
set up a 6.
You lost one earlier. Yeah.
And if you remember way back in the beginning of the game, teacher grabbed this shocking information here. And if Scald can get that edge back and has enough on the edge to kind of cycle, we can see that come back and play a big role later in the game.
Sure.
So interesting, Leia has not played double agent here. Could be something maybe he knows he has in his deck and is going for it. Again, just peculiar that Leia's down there. The other thing I could think about is setting up a possible noble sacrifice.
Yeah, Leia is power 3, and then what? Isn't that one of these DS pilots power 3?
DS 61-3, but
Well,
is he on the table? He is.
he's already on the
Okay,
table.
is there
Yeah.
any other 3 power characters?
I mean, Mahdi is
Mahdi.
power 3. If you had
Mahdi,
Admiral
yeah.
Mahdi. Yeah. Yeah. So it might be in Darkseid's interest actually not to deploy characters, or to be very careful.
And here comes the setup.
There's a lift of escape. Yeah, he is absolutely trying to retrieve 5. No doubt about that.
But teacher is going to push 6 damage here this turn.
This is true. Unless he has a could be worse.
Could be worse than another
He
good
might.
card to grab.
It would be, yes. Yeah. Given that he has 2 cards left, I'm going to assume he has it could be worse. Let's see.
And you got to say, Scald playing very well this game because the first turn he lost Wedge and Captain Han. And this little lonely Tantive 4 has harassed the dark side enough that dark side, hasn't really been able to spread out and drain like they clearly intend. And, he's really been feisty about it all.
So I think that the top card was that Image of the Dark Lord. So why is he spending one just to shuffle his deck so that he's not likely to get that in his force pile? Or why would you use Piet's ability after using 1 force?
He could be wanting to see what's in his reserve deck, potentially.
Okay.
If you've interesting. So he activates everything here.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything.
Everything.
We see a drain of 1, Courage of a Skywalker. At some point, Lightside's likely to maybe control a couple of these drains as well.
Yeah.
Chewbacca, that's an
Chewbacca.
interesting choice.
I don't get that one. You could put that on Tantive. That's a weird choice to me.
Here comes the
And
double
now
agent.
you double agent?
Okay, so Lightside now threatening a drain of 5 next turn. Very nice.
Yep. Okay, and he's saving that 2 force. No, could be worse.
And he's losing from reserve deck. I almost wonder if he doesn't intend to edge this turn, like to lose force down to the card he wants to get to.
Certainly possible.
But that first edge is fairly buried now. I will say that. There goes the Falcon, but I think he's going to
Yes, it
retrieve
is.
that back. But it will take him a couple turns. I love this card coming out.
That's what teacher needs. Of course, yeah, skill deploy that Leia, so can't redeploy her. Of course, of course, it helps with the 4 string.
It's interesting. These eras before secret plans. In later formats, when your opponent gets this low on life force, they're left with difficult choices of either retrieve this turn or do something else. Here, you can retrieve and do other things, which is really nice.
Do you really want to move the executor? I don't get that.
Yeah, I think that what he wants with the Executor is to get it into the Kashyyyk system. But I'm kind of with you. I don't think it's too necessary, but I don't think it'll really change his drain output at all. I think you just move the TIE Scout from the Victory class over there. You might even just let the Tantive drain for a turn and pick up some cards to attack with. This is interesting. Why is he going to Hoth?
I don't.
I don't understand going to Hoth here. Why wouldn't you stay at
I don't
Kashyyyk for
understand
a
either.
drain of 2? I mean, he's obviously trying to use cards here, like to get things
Okay.
in his reserve, in my opinion. But we have not seen Decree or Yavin 4.
Well, I mean, 2 from the bottom, I think is a 6, I believe. So, I guess that gives them flexibility.
And he's going to lose some substantial force here, so he will lose 5. 6, I'm sorry, 6.
Yeah. So when do you get? Okay, so we're in the arrogant stage, assuming he doesn't have another Grimtosh. Might be right.
Or just saying I need to find certain cards.
I guess so.
Now, if he doesn't have the Grimtash now, you can lose enough to get down to 12, of course.
That is also true. Field activating 2 force. Is he going to remember his tracking?
Now, what's interesting is, regardless of if his tracking is correct here, he's in his control phase. So he's limited to 4 force this turn, which means that he can't really do anything. He can't deploy any. I mean, maybe he's got a wedge in hand or something, but probably going to take 2 damage from ability here.
Most likely. I mean, he got rid of a Chewbacca. To me, that felt a little bit sus.
Okay, losing a Gick.
Losing a gig from him. Yeah.
I would be surprised if Lightside has any more ships left. I think the Falcon that's in the Lost Pile right now is their last ship at this point. We haven't seen a lot of cards for Destiny. Is interesting. Not a lot of Destiny's drawn at
True.
all. So we've really only seen what's been on the table here, but I don't know. I don't see Lightside coming with any more ships.
It seems unlikely at this point. I agree.
And being that he needs a pilot for the Falcon, and we've seen Wedge be lost, we've seen Captain Han be lost, we've seen Chewbacca be lost. Like you said, maybe Boshek. I don't even know if he can get the Falcon out, even if he gets back. But, pushing 5 damage is solid. If you can retrieve and push 5 damage, I think, he's got a very strong chance. It's very tight right now. So Darkseid has 20 force. Light side has 22, but they're about to get 5 here, I think. 4.
Hmm. Seems like a mistake to me, but 4 is 4. Still good.
Oh, maybe he has a
On the
another
edge.
an edge coming up for another one. Yeah,
If he has another
because
on the edge, that would make
the
sense.
6 should be next, right? Because he used lift tube escape,
Yeah,
and that's what we just saw. So now he has a 6 on top.
should be. Does he have it?
Yep.
Yes, he does. Yep.
So just a ton of retrieval here from Scald.
Absolutely. And he's racking up these drains. So teacher needs to counter rack up drains really quickly here.
Yeah. So the overall number retrieved here is going to be 7. It's a net of 7. You lose 2 cards in the process. You retrieve 9, so it's a 7 net. It basically buys him a turn of drains. With Darkside draining for 6 right now. Oh, Darkside's only draining for 5 because they're not at Kashyyyk anymore.
Yeah. And yeah, Skill didn't even bother to drain at Dantooine. I guess he knew that if he drained, he could react.
It will push the 2 from
Um,
ability. But if you're Scald, you need um, you need that sorry about the mess in hand because again, you didn't leave yourself any. You could have done this in your activation phase. So I think Lightside should have done this in their activation phase and then been able to draw cards because now Darkside drew all these cards. If he can come down with a spy and block a drain for a couple turns, that could have a big impact on the game.
yeah, I agree. I mean, he's going to have another turn where he loses 2 to ability. That's the issue. So, I mean, maybe if he drew, he could have gotten another card with ability to stave that loss off. So I agree with you. It probably should have been control. It should have been activate phase, whatever, to retrieve.
Yeah. And if you're Darkside, I guess you come down at the incinerator because that way double agent can't hit you for a turn. You can still get sorry about the mess at both sites, but probably come down at the incinerator.
So I don't know what's in Skilled's hand, but if he loses too many cards, he's going to start losing his off the edge, which is not what he wants.
Yeah. Giving up
Boshek.
Boshek. Where? Why?
No, no.
I mean, Boshek would have been a big deal on the Tantive 4. That would have changed a lot. And he could have deployed that last turn. He could have saved 2 force.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting choices here. Son of Skywalker being lost. And you'd also like to see, Teacher does still have, a number of systems out there. I think at this point, with as much retrieval as Lightside has, you really got to find a way to spread out and get some more starships on the table. And losing Millet,
Yeah.
he had Falcon and Boshek in. I'm really confused. So we do see
I'm confused
Black
too. Yeah.
2 and Reserve Pilot coming down. So that's going to draw
Yep.
Destiny there. It's pretty nice. And now you've lost Boshek, you've lost the Falcon. You could be losing these to ability, and you're not going to have that, or to Metellian Sabrep, I'm sorry, and you're not going to have that option. I don't know. This is
Yeah, I think that was a questionable move. Fortunately for him,
Yeah, we do see Garinden come undercover at the incinerator. So if Scald has a sorry about the mess, it would be an opportune time to use that, of course.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we'll see the Executor creep up one more hyperspeed to maybe Hoth or something. Oh, well, no, there's not going to be enough force to afford to do all that, it seems, as a TIE scout comes down to Dantooine. He'll probably just save one to react to Dantooine because the Executor can come now.
Agreed, but do I really think Skuld has just lost a Falcon and Boshek and is eager to play another thing? It seems unlikely at this point.
It seems unlikely, and so if he could clear Tantive 4, right? He's dealing 2, 4, 8, 8 and 10 with ability. I mean, now Teacher doesn't have that many turns remaining of his own, and if he can get going here with a sorry about the mess, Teacher's only got 3 turns himself that he can survive.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big question. Sorry about the mess is the critical card right here. If he does not yet have it in hand, it's a big problem for Lightside as they'll only get off 3 damage instead of 6 this turn.
Agreed. Future being safe, leaving one force.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect the two. It could be Captain Han and the Falcon. I mean, it's not. Obviously, he's lost 2 Falcons, but
If he had another Captain on, I would be amazed. But maybe, who knows?
I don't know. I think if Scald had deployed the Falcon and Boshek somewhere, I think that was pretty much game over.
I mean, it would have disrupted the dark side force drains. I mean, maybe he would have lost a battle, but you could have saved yourself some time, maybe. I mean, obviously they're not immune to attrition, which is the big thing.
It is true, yeah. And Teacher's drawing Destiny at every system except for Dantooine, which wasn't on the table before, but
Yeah.
so Scald saving 9. Is that because he has something tracked? Will we see more retrieval here?
Um, I think he lost one of his on the edges in his lost file, I believe, unless I'm wrong. I mean, he has one more floating around there somewhere. So he had one more retrieval in his system.
I think
He
that might
should
be
be able to
enough.
do it.
If he can get rid of Garinden this turn, that should be enough.
Yeah. Only other thing I'll say is, yeah, no deploys there.
No deploys and no sorry about the mess. So that has saved at least a turn of drains. We'll see if and sorry about the mess lost from the reserve. That is not what you want to see. Does
No.
he? But I think maybe was he still floating too? I don't know. But I think another thing is, you check with Dagobah. You use Dagobah. So we're gonna see a double agent here coming.
Yeah, he might have double
Teacher can
agent,
run though.
double
He should
double agent.
run. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he ran.
Good. That's amazing.
That's smart.
That's amazing, actually. Wow. Honestly, yeah, that one force just to move is ingenious, actually, in hindsight. Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be curious how each player manages their forces. We get down to the final moments of this game. Teacher has now 12. So if If he keeps Gorindin alive, he dies in 4 turns. If he
Correct.
doesn't keep Gorindin alive, he dies in 2 turns.
Exactly.
So he needs to push damage immediately, and he really needs Gorindin to survive one more turn, I think.
Very much so.
And Scald's still drawing.
He is, and it's not hard to hit Grindon. That's what we'll say.
Still drawing. Setting a
There's the
Destiny,
track.
probably for retrieval.
Yep.
So it's going to be, again, a very close finish here. Scald now with 21 cards, but about to lose 8.
8 cards,
And
and then 10 of
at least one during
deploy.
his turn. If he can deploy a card with ability, that's a 1 loss rather than a 2.
True.
Now, if you're teacher, it's an interesting choice. If let's say you have a tie scout in hand, do you bring it down? Oh, okay. So this is a wise play, losing R2D2 so he can retrieve that.
Makes sense. Absolutely.
But will teacher deploy additional forces to try to drain more and push more and more damage? Um, if he could have gotten this spread out maybe a turn or two earlier, we see another Captain Han. So Captain Han, elusive in this game, immediately being lost, but there was 2, but he just couldn't get him in his hand, it seems.
Big deal.
Now, I don't know if it's the way to go, but another technique that the dark side might have, if you think of what they could possibly do, there could be maybe a universe that you get a couple characters down, like 2 ability 2 guys, and block a drain at the lower corridor or something, and try to make it risk Luke being lost to a 6th Destiny. We saw that image of a Dark Lord a couple times.
Yeah, you would do the incinerator though, so Obi-Wan can't drain. I mean, right after the moment, lower quarter is blocked.
Assuming Gorindin gets sorry about the mess.
Sure.
I don't think. Yeah, you can't go after Obi-Wan. They just lose Leia.
Okay.
But if like say Son of Skywalker and R3PO were by themselves, a Destiny 4 or higher could take out Son of Skywalker, which takes out the lightsaber, and then takes turn to move Leia over. But we'll see here. More drains inbound. No, girl. I think that there is still one more sorry about the mess. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's another sorry about the mess in there. That they retrieved it a couple times. Uh, one thing about this game, Scald has been surgical about his retrieval. He has gotten sorry about the mess back a couple times. He got double agent back. He has been very specific and very judicious in his choices.
I would be really cautious about deploying any characters. We have not seen Noble Sacrifice yet, and if he Noble Sacrifices, it's game over for Darkseid.
That's true as well. But it would have to be a power 3 character. Darkseid doesn't
Sure.
have any power 5 characters, which is what the light side characters are. Well, Luke's a power 7 right now, but Darkseid doesn't have any natural 5s.
That's true. Yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah, as long as you don't deploy a power 3, you're safe. That's true. So the issue is that it may not be a great idea for a teacher to deploy anything or draw any card. Well, you could draw cards, but you know, he activated his entire force pile, so he is not prepared for any battles at all unless he uses force.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I
you
don't
could
even know
always
if he
shuffle
has the
ties if you
ability.
need to use force.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you cannot use Piet's ability right now because he has no reserve deck at the moment.
That is correct. And of course, you do want to leave at least one force because, and we do see the TIE Scout come down.
I don't know if this is a great play, in all honesty. It takes you 2 turns to make this work, but wow, okay, maybe that works.
2, 4.
It's 10 of drains.
10 plus
Um,
plus ability is actually 12, and that's exactly what Scald has. So if Scald's
yeah,
sorry about the messes but doesn't retrieve, and doesn't deploy, I think Teacher still has this game. This is going to be very interesting.
good point.
Either way, the boys are giving us a thrilling game here.
This is true.
And if you're a fan of Star Wars CCG, you should definitely be happy seeing this tense of a matchup here in the finals. This is what you live for.
Down to turn 11. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 11 turns of action, and it's very interesting to me that Scald here has not immediately decided how much force he's activating. Now we see 1, so that tells me he's got the sorry about the mess. But we don't immediately
Oh,
see
I
it.
forgot. I forgot he can retrieve. He can retrieve his. He
Oh,
can
and that
retrieve R
yes,
two D two.
yes.
Yeah, he has one more turn
No,
to live.
because if the sorry about the mess takes him down to 11. And R2 gets him back up to 12, but then the force loss would be 12. This is going to be tight. This is going to be very tight.
Yeah.
Here's the sorry about the mess.
Yeah.
And if he has a retrieval card in his hand, he could
He can retrieve
also.
during each turn.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
He has
Ooh,
Nether
but
on the
there
edge.
but there is a retrieval card. So it might be a scenario where he doesn't now. So yeah, so if he could deploy a card, if he's got a ability to like a desk, no, because then he can't retrieve. This is I, oof, this is tight. He needs a retrieval,
Yes, he does.
and he can't use on the edge. It has to be an off the edge because on the edge
Well,
would
yeah.
cost 4.
I mean, I think he had 4 retrieval cards. I think he had 2 on the edge and 2 off the edge, and so we saw his second off the edge. So I think that was his last retrieval card, unless he has like a noble sacrifice.
This is gonna be close. Yeah, the hollow table.
He can't survive another turn. So that's the problem. Teacher cannot survive his next turn.
Oh, teacher 100% has to finish him if teacher's gonna win on this turn. And the
Yeah,
question is it
but
possible? If Scald has an off the edge in hand, he's gonna win. If he doesn't, I think he loses. Again, I think a character might win for him as well. I think if he could deploy a character, No, because then he's down to 10 life force as well. Yeah, he needs a retrieval. He needs a retrieval of some type. And this ability damage is coming in so critical right now.
100%. Is he going to remember to retrieve his R2D2? Because if he does, he has 12.
But 12 is not enough. So he is
He
going to
didn't
draw
he
and
forgot
hope
to
he
retrieve.
draws into retrieval, I think. If he has an ICB, does he get it out by blocking 2? An ICB? VHG, I'm not sure what an ICB is.
It could be worse.
Oh, it could be worse. Yeah, if he has it could be worse, he could win too. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so he doesn't draw. He still
I
can't play
I,
on
I
the
don't.
edge, but he still can like lose 1 off the top, and then he'll have the 5. So let's see. Here it comes. How will this finish? We know this is the last turn for Teacher. He has no way to stop these drains. Gets it started with Kashyyyk.
I think he should have gone for a drain of 1 first.
What's the difference?
You get a second turn to drain, basically. If he loses from the top, he has a 5 on the bottom. So basically, well, maybe it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what else
Maybe it
could
doesn't
win.
matter.
If he has, I think, 2 controls, he could win here. He'd need 2, I think.
Yeah.
Cancel both drains at
Yeah.
Kashyyyk and Kifix. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6. Yeah, he could win like that. Droid retrieval is only during control phase. Yes, no girl.
Surprise assault, but that's a 2, man. It's...
Yeah, that's an even. Oh no, he only loses 1 from that though. So this does cut the damage by 1 because
Yeah.
it's a tie.
Yeah.
And that's not enough. I think Teacher, he's going to need a control maybe. A control might win here. But we did not. The retrieval would have came there, right?
I mean, he should have retrieved if he was going to retrieve. He has a 5 there. If he had the card in hand, it'd be the time to use this now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And with the drain of 2 at Kifix, that means no control is coming. So I think the math, unless this is a slow roll and he's waiting for the last possible moment to use this. A surprise assault? Perhaps, yeah, if he has a second surprise assault maybe to get one of these ties for 4 damage. Of course, Teacher can use the tie scouts last to force drain and just go down in power terms. 3 life force left. Here is the surprise assault, but this will only do 2 damage. So Teacher being very smart in the way he executes his drains, and I think that's going to be GG, right? Am I doing this math wrong? We have the drain at Bespin and Dantooine remaining.
I have not been paying attention. He's been going left and right, but let's see. I think you're right, though.
What a
Wow.
game. 2 life force going to be left for Teacher. He'll move to 5-0. Congratulations to Scald as well, as this was, certainly a performance you should be proud of, losing here. I mean, he did everything he could. And yeah, Teacher giving him his props as well. So, came down to the wire. Teacher needed every last resource. And congrats to Teacher on some expertly played stuff. Getting that last high scout in the victory class was in fact the key to the match. Bill, you weren't sure about it, but it came to prove the difference.
I am amazed. That's all I can say.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, hell of a game from both players. I really appreciate everybody joining in. Hopefully, there'll be more great matchups this week and next. But again, kudos to both players for playing a spectacular match. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you. Take care.